And it could be scary to look at. Everything that we have, everything that we built up, someday it will all disappear. Hello everyone, it's Jason, and I'm here answering your questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question. Today's question is about making a decision. Have you ever had this experience where there are two options in your life and you need to decide which option you will take? Let me read this question for you. Hi, Jason. Do you ever get confused when deciding between two good options? How do you choose one over the other? So this question came up on my chat feature on my website. And I responded, the question is the same. If your direction is clear, your whole life is clear. And then this person responded, I always feel depressed when I ask this question, why do that? It feels like life is pointless. If we really look at life closely, it may seem pointless. You know, we come into this world with nothing. We're going to gather a bunch of things, put a lot of time and energy into getting these things. And when we leave this world, we can't take anything with us. So that's pretty heavy. I noticed when I started seeing this in my early 20s, mid-20s, I really felt like this life is pointless. And it could be scary to look at. Everything that we have, everything that we built up, someday it will all disappear. Someday this body is going to disappear. So there are some of us that don't want to look at this because of fear. The fear that we're going to lose it all. Or maybe the fear that we're going to lose ourselves. And so we try to avoid it or run away from it, which really only causes more difficulty in our lives. Zen Master Sung Song once said, human life has no meaning, no reason, and no choice, but we have our practice to help us understand our true self. Then we can change no meaning to great meaning, which means great love. We can change no reason to great reason, which means great compassion. Finally, we can change no choice to great choice, which means great vow. If you have a spiritual practice, you can investigate this. But what if you don't have a spiritual practice, or maybe you're new to a practice, or maybe you're just confused about your spiritual practice? Then how do you decide between two good options that you may have in your life? So I told this person to ask why choose something. So why do that? So for some people, this can cause a lot of confusion in their minds. Or maybe they see that, oh, this life is pointless. But the reason why I told this person this is to really look at why we do something. If we do something just for ourselves, we're going to end up disappointed. If we do something for this whole world, now that's just a big way of saying, if we do something for everyone around us, including ourselves, then there's going to be some clarity. There's going to be some purpose or meaning behind our actions. But again, this option may not be so easy. So another thing I heard of, a Zen master who used to teach in the school I teach in, the Quantum School of Zen, he once told me to flip a quarter. Now, it's not like you have two options that you're deciding, and you say, all right, head's going to be one thing, tail's going to be one thing. You flip it, and the quarter decides. He had a very interesting approach to this. So yeah, you do make one option heads, one option tails. And you flip the quarter. Now, I guess the currency is going to be different depending on where you're living. So you flip the quarter, and before it lands, he said, go on your intuitive feel, or what the first thing that pops up before it lands in your mind. And that's what you decide. Now, I'm not sure how helpful that can be. I have heard of people doing that. Because eventually, kind of going back to the first point, whatever we decide in our life, again, eventually all of it is going to disappear or change. No matter what we decide in our life, we're all going to die. So maybe that's something to consider. Maybe picture yourself on your deathbed. Maybe you have a day to live. What is it that you wish you have done? Or what is it that you wish you decided for your life? So these are kind of just tools and techniques that may be helpful. You can try them. But one thing that I've always relied on is intuition. And I've talked about this in a lot of my videos. I believe I have a video called What is Intuition? If that's true, I'll put a link down below so you can check it out. Because what I noticed too, even the experiences in my life that I decided that turned out not to be so pleasant, or maybe the outcome was not what I wanted, the result of that outcome was very important for me to learn about the experience, to get some kind of strength from this experience. And all of the things that happened in my life led to this very moment. For me to be recording this video. If those things did not happen, I would not be here. So that's a problem that we get into. We're always looking for a good outcome. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I think is more important is to be more intuitive about making decisions. And this is really hard to talk about because it's not something we really think in our heads. It's something that moves us in that moment. I remember when I was moving from the Providence Zen Center, which is in Rhode Island, I was moving from there to Empty Gate Zen Center in Berkeley. So you have to realize I lived at the Providence Zen Center for, I believe at that time, 9 years. I moved back there later, but after living there for 9 years, I had a lot of important roles there. I was the house master, I was the kitchen master, I was the head Dharma teacher, later became abbot of the Zen Center. And I made this decision, and it was with me for a while, to move, to leave the Providence Zen Center. And when I finally decided to do that, many people were not happy about this. My teacher didn't express much anyways, so he didn't say much about it. But there was this one teacher who was a Zen master, I'm not going to mention any names, they were very upset about this decision. How can you do this? I think you're just thinking about yourself. The Zen Center needs your help, and you're leaving them. What are you going to do over there in Berkeley? This kind of talk. And I remember when I made this decision, it was a gut feeling, so an intuitive feeling. I can't even say that it really made much sense in my head. And when this teacher was telling me all of this stuff, I started checking myself. Do you ever do that? Oh, maybe I am making a bad decision. Oh, what if I'm doing the wrong thing? And again, I don't even think it matters why I was moving there. Because eventually, the experience of whatever was going to happen when I moved there can be a teaching, something to learn, something to digest. But in my case, it was a gut feeling. And even though I started checking myself, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, I just followed this. So after living at the Empty Gate Zen Center in Berkeley for about a year, I saw this teacher again at a gathering. And then this teacher said, "Wow, I'm so glad you moved to Berkeley. The Empty Gate Zen Center really needed your help and is benefiting from you living there. I'm so glad you did this." So it's not important to get caught up on what people say. Many people have an idea about what we should be doing in our life, what we should be deciding. But ultimately, it is us that decides. And like I said, no matter what we choose, soon all of this is going to be over. So yeah, you can make a list of pros and cons of making a decision. You can flip a quarter. You can ask why do that. But I truly believe that the most important is to really follow your gut, follow your intuition, and let that guide your life. And even though the result may not be easy, it may be frustrating, but I think it will be clear. I've been telling people if you practice meditation or have some other kind of practice, I don't think life gets easier. It just becomes clear. And when our life becomes clear, this whole world becomes clear. The meaning of our life becomes clear. The reason becomes clear. And our choice is very clear. I hope this video was helpful. You can let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you'd like to support my YouTube channel, you can like this video, share this video, maybe consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon is really how all these videos keep appearing. I would be interested in hearing from you on how you decide between two good options in your life. Put that down in the comments below as well. Okay, everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you very soon.